Welcome to my channel. Tell me, tell me your story, how you made it. This is your sister Desiree Monique. Today we will be interviewing Eric Ture Muhammad. Please introduce yourself and tell us the name of your business.
Well, there's various facets to business. Um, I'm Brother Eric Ture Muhammad. I'm also known as the Wealth Minister. I have a coaching program known as From Wish to Winning, the Coaching Club, where we help entrepreneurs, individuals, and organizations find themselves uh, uh, in the elements of wealth, in business, and efficiency. We also have our opportunity as a founding member of a fintech cooperative known as MOSCA, which stands for My Own Strategic Capital Alliance, where we help hundreds and thousands of people find their path into perpetual funding and economic freedom.
Yes. Okay, yes, sir. Um, what inspired you to start this business?
Well, what it stemmed from is years of service. I'm a follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, a member of our Nation of Islam now 40 plus years, and it has allowed me to see the value in adding value to the lives of others first and foremost. And it was through that where the wealth ministry occurred. And what I mean by the wealth ministry, people have financial needs, financial goals, and it was through service that and the desire of the minister for me to teach and train all over the world, it became a mission, if you will, to find that thing that I was good at, passionate about, and within the wheelhouse of service and offering service to others. So a few years ago, I came across a financial mentor named Dr. Tyrone Best, and he guided me step by step, night and day almost, for nearly 4 years, helping me to understand the power and the majesty of wealth and its connection to divinity. There's connection to abundance, and abundance being the right or the birthright of any individual on the planet. Just a matter of how we govern ourselves and follow ordered steps. So through those things, through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the guidance from family, my father, many of you know is Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael, it helped me to hone in on what it is that I can contribute to society and put pressure on that craft. So that's what brought me to this space and how I got started. It started with service and will always end in service.
Yes, sir. Okay. What was the first year like? Biggest surprises and hurdles?
Oh, wow. The first year was just the excitement of doing. I have a saying in my circle that states only doing gets it done. I didn't have any fear. I didn't have any interpretation. I didn't have any anxiety over what it was that I was doing because I was sure that this was the path that God directed me upon. What I did not know is what I didn't know. I didn't know how to do what I was going to do. I just knew that I had to do it. So it was a matter of getting started. And in that first year of this pursuit, um, it was met with, I would say, success, and it grew into tremendous success. It started with success because I started. You're never great when you start, but you can't get great if you don't start. So the first steps I took was to put people in front of solutions. What is what will satisfy the needs of the community that I'm hoping to represent? And many times in entrepreneurship and business, we find ourselves working on developing businesses that we like or what is our passion or what we're good at. And that has its place. But when, if you look at the definition of business, it's to solve problems. Business is a solution solver. The bigger the solution, the greater the business. So I looked into what needs there were, and it allowed me to move forward. And if those needs were something that I will already possess in service, then I would magnify that. I would work on that. I would make that the yardstick by which I offered solutions. And the first year, it wasn't challenging for me because of knowing what I wanted to do. The challenge came for my family
Really?
accepting what I do. Yes, because it's not in everybody's wheelhouse. Your mission is yours. Your
Mm-hmm.
goals are your goals. But you have to have, uh, I'll give you this example. I wanted to be free. I wanted to be financially free. I wanted to be free with location. I wanted to be free with time. And if I had approached it properly, I would have made sure my wife was free first.
Okay, yes, sir.
I would, I would, I would have made sure. I would have made sure. I wouldn't have put that kind of pressure on her. When I fired my boss or left the plantation, I just did it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like a long and drawn out process in my mind and in my heart, but truth of the matter was there was no consultation with my wife. So I just did it. I
Mm-hmm.
just did it. And when I walked through the door, you talking about hearing my own heartbeat on my way back home, Sister Desiree. I'm on the way home and I can literally hear my heart beating because I enacted something that would impact the entire family with no consultation with the family, no consultation with the wife. You know, we were struggling on two incomes, and now I
And
eliminated one of them. Boy, I came through that door and she looked at me and she knew that I had done it. She was like, I can't believe so I begged the Lord right in that moment out loud to bless me with the success I seek for myself and my family because I don't want to lose my family. I have to make this work, Allah. And I remember saying it just as sure as I'm talking to you. And so there was never a doubt, but the desire was absolutely amplified because I didn't want to lose my queen or the
I
children.
understand.
You know,
I
yeah. So the
understand.
first year, it was met with that kind of challenge. They're not being aware or understanding of it in the immediate. Now they didn't. It's not they didn't love me, but they didn't understand my pursuit. They didn't understand my way. I wasn't going out of the house anymore. I wasn't clocking in and clocking out. I'm now working night and day, giving this pursuit the necessary uh, um, foundation it required. Another element I did learn that first year, I analyzed, I took the evaluated experience of working.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have to get up 2 hours early to take a near hour drive to work 8+ hours a day. And then when that shift was over, I'm returning home nearly an hour, 2 hours if there was traffic pending somewhere. I was working all over the state of Georgia. And now I get home with enough time to get ready to do it all again the next day. That's not living, but that's just merely existing. But what I learned in that, if I can do that nearly 20 years for the plantation
Mm-hmm.
without fail, I can get up in the morning and make sure I'm up those 2 hours early, getting ready in that hour, traveling to work nearly an hour, and giving the job all of me in those 8, 9, sometimes 13 hours in a day, and then come home. If I can do that for the plantation and I didn't love what I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
can I do it for me, for the love of me, my family, and the mission?
That's
So, yeah, after prayer, after meditation, my day started roughly 4:30 in the morning and still starts around 4:30 in the morning. And I have not looked back. It's established a routine, it established a standard and a criteria by which I work and people can expect me to work, and I get rich doing
wow. That's awesome. That's powerful, man. That is powerful. I know a lot of people,
it.
if they heard that, and they use that, I'm sure that will work for them too. It makes so much sense. It makes so much
Oh
sense.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Next question. How did you validate your idea before launching?
Well, I didn't validate it before launching. I validated with the first sale.
Yes, sir.
See, if you have an idea, you have to put that idea to the test, right? So in that idea, I was interested in knowing whether people look for ways to make more money. And I was interested in attaching myself to their pain because that pain point, if I can solve that pain point, then we have business. So in solving that pain point, all I had to do was make the right offer and it met the pain point of the individual. And they said, yes, I'll do it. I'll join you or I'll hire you. And that was it. Validation comes from the first sale because if you can sell one, you can sell a million.
That's a good point. That is true. I gotta start doing that. Okay.
We all
Um,
do in everything we do.
yes, sir. Who were your biggest earlier supporters and mentors?
Absolutely, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan,
Oh, wow.
because he put me on a path. You know, I've been with him now since 1977, and in these years of growth, when you can almost count the members of the Nation of Islam on one hand, um, it was his example, his tenacity, his going for it, his sense of duty, his loyalty, and his allegiance to Allah and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It helped me to understand the power of dedication, and it helped me to develop language. I didn't know how to read or write before I came to the Nation of Islam. I was in my 20s before I was pulling full sentences together. But he taught me how not to be afraid of circumstances,
Mhm.
you know, and he taught me how to embrace a world. My uh, adopted father, Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture, he adopted me. He adopted me as an adult. And he shared with me the power of embracing an entire world politically, understanding the power of economy, and further understanding the isms, imperialism, socialism, capitalism, all the isms, and how they impact our existence, our life, and also help me to embrace the Pan African dynamic that also serves as a part of us. But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan embraced me by allowing me to be a part of not just the community. I was his first field minister in the Nation of Islam, where myself and brother minister Jamil Muhammad, we traveled all over the country, setting up mosque and study groups, assisting those leaders that were before him, like uh, brother minister Abdul Kareem Muhammad. I assisted him in the build of entire West Coast on behalf of the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Minister Abdul Akbar Muhammad, may Allah be pleased, who also just recently transitioned. He was a catalyst for me because once I learned the power of reading, it helped me to enhance the power of vision. So, Brother Akbar used to read anywhere from 35 to 50 newspapers per day each morning. And he would do this, and I would watch him when I was blessed to be around him. So I would pick up the habit. I would grab the papers and the magazines. Of course, I didn't know how to read well, but I could sure look at pictures, and I can listen to him give summary and analysis. And I use those tools from him and the minister and just lifing uh, that had the most impact on me, or the minister had the most impact on me, because I was never afraid of my shortcomings. I embraced them, and it allowed me to embrace the shortcomings of others. I never worried about what other people thought of me, because what you think of me is none of my business. I have a job, a role, a goal. And so the minister impacted all of that with focus and showing me the intention and the purpose of having focus and being resolute. So those were the foundational things for sure that helped me to grow and go to where I'm going.
Yes, sir. Um, what problem does your product or service solve? I think you already mentioned some of it, but go ahead.
Okay. Um, Society, billions of people on the planet believe they have a money problem.
Mhm.
And I contend that we don't have a money problem. We have a cash flow problem. The cash flow problem is that which you have to have something coming in on a regular basis, but you want to maintain the freedom to perform. So my services impact family, they impact business, they impact health, and they impact wealth because you need the time freedom to enjoy all those things. So cash flow, how do you determine a cash flow so that you can successfully do these things with the freedom of time, the freedom of location, and the freedom of finance? So uh, my company, Mosca, uh, the acronym stands for My Own Strategic Capital Alliance. It allows you to develop through one action step, perpetual funding, and the sharing of revenue with revenue share owners. Owner in the revenue share in Mosca, and every 28 days, you will receive perpetual residual income or funding for your organization, for your churches, for your business, mosques, synagogues, temples, uh, uh, operation costs for things that you do, your fraternities, sororities, any of your organizations. If you need perpetual funding and don't wish to come out of your pocket to make it happen, then you take a leg up. You finance your freedom by investing into yourself in the digital wallet space, and that space exponentiates and it allows you to grow without having to do any more behind it than you did in the week that you joined with your deposit. You behave as your own bank, and when you're in your own bank, you don't owe a bank. You know, you can borrow from yourself, you can give to yourself, you earn fees like a bank earns fees. All these things are doable, relative as advertised.
Okay, thank you. Who's your ideal customer and how do you find them?
The ideal customer is looking at the needs. There are millions of people who are sitting in prayer closets all over the world trying to figure out how they're going to make ends meet. There are people in America that are so broke they can hardly pay attention, let alone a bill. You
Mhm.
know, these are things that we juggle with because we don't know better ways. My mentor, finance mentor, Dr. Tyrone Best, taught me there's only two reasons why people won't do what you do. They either don't believe or don't understand. So you have people that will give you this argument that it's not about money. This is true, but everything takes money. What determines the thread count in your fine clothes? What determines the car you drive? What determines the type of gas you get for that car? What determines the home you live in, the apartment you dwell in? Determines the education that you receive or further for your children or your children's children? What determines how you wish to be remembered? All of that involves money. The Bible talks about money answering all things. Well, so it has a place. So the demographic that I have is built into the abundance. We're children of the abundance. How do we take advantage of it? How do we manifest it? That's my business. So I can show you how you can generate a perpetual income and you won't owe me for it. I don't want your money. I want you to want your money. And when I'm able to convey that from a basis of belief and proof, and that person it resonates with, then we become strategic partners and shared revenue owners. And look, I do understand it's not for everybody. It may be in concept, but everybody's not going to want to do it. But
Mhm.
we have 7,000 plus members in our cipher. We pre-launched 2025, January 1st, and we just crossed the threshold of one full year, January 1st, 2025 this year, 7,000 members plus more than $1 million transactions inside of this dynamic, this private fintech cooperative that's decentralized and yours. Yes, I think that um, uh, the demographic speaks for itself, and how I approach them is a simple truth and show them how they can move intentionally and build a different type of reality for their family, for their children, and for their children's children.
Yes, sir. Um, what one customer story sticks with you? One customer.
The one that brought me to wealth building. I learned of Dr. Tyrone Best some years ago through videos I would see on Facebook and other social media platforms. And then uh, a brother, a Muslim brother, brother Kevin 2X Thompson and brother Jamil um, encouraged me to take a look into what it was that Dr. Best actually did in terms of wealth builders worldwide. So the customer story was my own because I was working nearly 90 hours a week uh, on a plantation in the hotel industry. And I had lofty titles. I had my own parking spot. I had uh, allegedly a lot of money that I was earning on paper, but it wasn't showing itself in reality because the government gets your check first, deductions get your check next. I didn't know who Uncle Sam was any more than Mother FICA. I didn't know FICA, that Social Security piece. I didn't know what that was, right? But everybody was getting a piece of something from me, and I had very little of it to show for the family. And then there was this hidden tax called inflation. It was the extra seat at the table. It was the extra plate at the table. It was the extra tank on your car. It was everything you weren't prepared to pay for, but had to pay for. Okay. And so that was inflation. Dr. Best told me that all I needed to do to be free, and this was the impact. He said, "Do you want freedom?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Do you want to be rich?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Do you want to be wealthy?" I said, "Absolutely." He said, "Well, look at what everyone else is doing in the world. Look at all that they're doing, and you do the exact opposite, and you'll be flat out rich." That impacted me. And when I was sort of stunned when he said it. So then he said, "Listen to me." He said, "If you do exactly as I tell you, you will realize the power of your dreams." He said, "All you have to do is communicate to people, find out what it is that they want, and provide the service, and you'll be free." I said, "Wait a minute. Are you telling me that all I have to do is just talk to people about this, share it with them? It will give me the freedom, and I won't have to clock in anymore?" He said, "Absolutely." I said, "I'm in." That was the customer impact. He came after me in that way, and that stuck with me. And it over time, not a lot of time, but over time, it proved itself.
Okay, the next question is how is your team structured today and how did hiring evolve? I don't know if that
Would you
pertains.
repeat that, please? I could barely hear you.
Oh man, is this on? Can you hear?
No,
But
no,
can you
just
hear
sound
me?
this time, but it went a little garbled on the question. Just repeat the question.
Okay. How is your team structured today and how did hiring involve? I'm saying I don't know if that pertains to you, but if it does,
Okay. Well, the structure of it is, in everything I do, it requires a system. You know, system systems are what garner the success of any endeavor because they had to be ordered steps, they had to be structured steps. The rails had to be laid in order for the train to run. So um, uh, our business is automated and is based on systems. The system of education, the system of concept, the system of work, and applying ourselves, application. So our success is rooted in systems, is rooted in automation, blockchain technology, and and with artificial intelligence as well. These entities combined allow us to uh, own an operation that operates out of choice and not chance. Meaning, you can own a track here, but you'll never have to bet on a horse. We don't gamble in Moscow. There are no risks associated with it. You know, it's just a matter of taking uh, two steps one time, and you'll find yourself earning perpetual revenue share every 28 days. And if you have a strategic partner that you bring each day, well, then you're going to earn it every day. So, uh, in terms of hiring, there's no hiring process here because we're not offering jobs. We're offering solutions. And in the offer of solutions, people embrace them if they like, and it's okay if they don't. But we know there's 8 billion people on the planet that all have a need. I remember a presentation from former National Secretary under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, known as Abbas Rasul. And one day, Mr. Rasul, it was a Savior's Day presentation, and he said, "The world is reaching for Muhammad, and we must be there to grasp their hands." And how I apply that overall in life is really simple. With 8 billion people on the planet, I know that I'm not offering an opportunity. With everyone having a need for what we have, we're offering a solution. That's a big difference. So, yes, we don't hire, we inspire through informing, right? And we put people in front of the information and we allow the information to speak for itself. And then we just take the necessary steps when they say, "I want to be a partner with you."
Yes, sir. That sounds awesome. Okay. What tools or systems keep your day to day running smoothly?
Oh, wow. Tools. You're talking about my toys now. What do I have them out here? Or I took them in the back. Well, one main thing that maintains what I do is a calculator. You know, in Islam, we say Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam, and they can be proven in no limit of time. Well, I utilize a calculator everywhere that I go. I use the calculator because it makes the big or the impossible simple, right? So, what are some of your goals? Some people say they want $1 million. Well, you can get $1 million a few ways. You can have a $50,000 job for 20 years, right? Or you can take a calculator and calculate what $1 million a year looks like, which works out to 800. I'm sorry, works out to $83,333 a month. Okay, well then divide that by 4.3 weeks, which is the average amount of weeks in a month, and you divide that, it's going to knock it down to 19,000 some change. So you're going to continue to work those numbers, keep your divisions going to the point that it reaches a price point that everybody can meet. So I'll give you an example. I whittled down $1 million in one training to $1,250. And I did that by taking a million, dividing, and then I divided lastly by 86. It could have been any number, I just chose 86. Well, that gave me $1,250 that I could earn from 86 people. So what I did simply was I now reached out to my demographic and I said, if I can show you how to earn $9,000 twice a week, would that be worth you paying me $1,250? And he said, sure. Actually, it was more than that, but he said, sure. Well, that means out of the 86 that I divided it by, now I only need 85. So I go to another person because what I'm offering is a solution that everybody can benefit from. So I just go to the next person. They say yes. Now I only need 84. And before you know it, before the year is out, I've generated another $1 million just by providing the product, good, or service that the client needs in an affordable way and with a goal set, a bonus that you can't beat. So that's one way, the tool, the calculator. The biggest way is establishing time blocks, organization. That's what my father teaches. That's what the minister teaches. Organization. We must be organized. So we have to organize ourselves. Number one, you want to write down everything that you do. The Holy Quran teaches us to put everything in writing. Writing is a contract between you and the Creator. No one sees it but you and the God. Write out your intentions. Make a contract with yourself because it also serves as a declaration. I have, you can't see my office wall here, but I'll take one of them down. I have goals that I put on index cards. And those goals, I won't read this one out because it's nobody's business, but I'll put the goal out. And then on the back of it, I put the words from the Sermon on the Mount. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and to him that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. All my goals, I have a wall of goals. I have vision boards and all that good stuff. But the goals, some of them are laminated and they're in my pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and I walk around with them. And if I reach in my vest pocket, I don't even have to go into the pocket. All I got to do is touch it, feel it. I know it's there, and I know what the goal is automatically because of the frequency and the vibration. So you always want to keep in lockstep with your goals and the frequency and the vibration that you put behind it. You want to keep moving. The other tool is the lack of, meaning I don't watch television.
Okay.
I don't spend aimless time, or I strive not to. I do have the habit, but it's gotten better. Scrolling through social media, you know, for things that can be of no import, give me no assistance. If if I want, if something bad happens, I don't have to watch the news to know it. A friend will tell me. Somebody will tell me. If it's bad, somebody's going to tell me. So I don't allow my mind to become the trash can for everybody's garbage. The other tool is I read. I mean, I read. You all know my history. I wasn't a reader before the Nation of Islam, but once I started reading, whole worlds opened up to me. So I have several books that I attack a day. I'll go through on a average day maybe 20 books. Okay, but I don't read them all in terms of 20 books. I don't read them from cover to cover. I'll pull some from here, I'll pull some from there. We don't read for finishing. We read for studying. The
Yes,
Holy
sir.
Quran, we during the month of Ramadan, we read the entire 30 parts, right? And we read it from cover to cover. And it also comes with prayer and fasting and charitableness. But when I read to study. That puts pressure on my craft to be a better me, to be a better brother Eric Ture. So I can look at a book like I have, there's one I'm studying now. I don't have it in front of me, but it's called Codex. Another book that I have that I shared on our platform this morning called The Huddle, uh, Terry Cole Whitaker. What you think of me is none of my business. Now, this is for development. This is where you develop that 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 part of you where nothing shakes your tree. You're so resolute in what it is that you're doing. You don't worry about what other people think about it. Okay, but I'll use this as an example. In this book, I have it marked on page 68, and on this page, I just look at this one passage, and I study that passage on page 68 until the point is made.
Mm-hmm.
I don't read just to be reading. I'll read and come across something. that holds me, and I'll stay there until it's completed. Then I can move on to the next paragraph or to the next page if it requires. That's what I do. That's how I do all of my reading now.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
You have to learn how to parse the words. So tools, calculator, books, and time blocks. Writing down and time blocks. Journal is a tool. Time blocks. Now there are 24 hours in a day, right? How many days on how many hours on average does a person work?
Around 8.
Okay. So 24 hours in a day. If you divide that 24 by 8, you have 3. That means you have 3 8-hour shifts. Remember, I came from a space where I was working for darn near can't see in the morning, can't see at night, right? So when I left for work, my wife, children was asleep. When I came home from work, my wife and children was asleep. I gave them everything for them, meaning the job, the corporation. But now I have to do for me. So I take 24 hours divided by the 8 that I gave the beast, and now I have 3 days in one. So I'll take the first set of 8 hours and I'll dedicate it to a certain set of work and work habit. The second set of 8 hours, I'll give it the same type of focus, but never repeating what I did in day one in the same day, if you understand. And then in the third shift, I do the same. Now, it doesn't mean I use the full 8 hours. It's just that I'll dedicate slots inside those times. So
Mm-hmm.
I will have effectively a 21-day work week.
Yes,
And
sir.
those are the things that I do that help me structure. And in all of the structuring, family, business, health, wealth, these are the components that are touched on in every time block that's created. My time block for action may be an hour. It might be 40 minutes. It might be 20 minutes, but whatever I choose as the time block for the action, I take the action and take the action solely in that time block. I don't, if my block is from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., I don't wait till 2 p.m. to get here and then start getting ready for it. No, I'm ready beforehand. I don't start wiping the dust off the computer or organizing beverages or food so I can have it to get me through the time. No, you've already lost. 2 o'clock comes, I'm moving with full intention in terms of what it was I desired to do. If it's to talk to 100 people in that time, I do it. If it's a matter of sending out emails or going through certain documentation, I do it. If it's a matter of making sure that dinner's prepared for the household when they come home, I do it. Whatever the block of time is, I do only what's dedicated to one of those four elements: family, wealth, business, health, and I handle it. So your tools, journal, so you can write down, schedule, books, reading, even Audible is good ways or means when you don't have the ability to sit down and open a book. But I prefer to open books because when you put your face in pages, that's undivided attention. Nobody can interrupt you in that. You have to give it full concentration. You can play things in the air with Audible, and it has its place, but if it was about preference, I would use a book. Calculator, to always break things down in the simplest forms, because if it's simple, it's doable. And then dedicated time. Time slots dedicated solely to how I conduct my business and allow no interruption into it, any shape, form, or fashion.
Okay. Thank you. Um, which marketing channels drive the most growth for you?
Oh, all of them will, because I have what everybody wants. But the goal is everybody should focus on one social platform and
Okay.
grow it. You have an amazing YouTube channel. You grow that channel. Many people don't know, but YouTube is the most populated and looked on social platform in the world. Uh, YouTube is the how-to platform for anything. You can learn how to fix your car. You can learn how to cook your food. You can learn how to sew and hem and crochet and knit. You can do all these things on YouTube. You can learn how to remove or transplant a heart because it's the ultimate how-to channel, right? And having that ultimate channel, you can communicate your how-to the world. Some people choose to utilize it solely. I make use of other social medias, but the one I use most is Facebook. I use Facebook in 2010. Facebook grew a conference that I used to host annually called the Black African Holocaust Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. It brought out close to 3,000 people, through the social media platform. One, because social media was new at the time and people had time to pay attention to what was being shared, and as a result, they would attend or participate. Today, the attention span is 3 seconds. 3 seconds is the average attention span for individuals for social media platforms. So I make use of Facebook. I make use of it to build relationships and communicate certain anecdotes or adages. You'll see on my pages, you'll see something called Notes from the Wealth Minister. And there's certain things that I include. One thing I intended to include there this morning is the word no, N-O, no. And the comment that I intended to include is that no is a complete sentence. And
Mm-hmm.
what I was conveying there, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. You know, it can advance you. So social media, I make use of Facebook, but all of them follow the same principle. Know what that particular platform is for, right? And then build relationships with the people that are part of your platform. How do you build a relationship? You just don't get all these folks and post and expect things to be different. You build relationships. I'll look into the posts that people make, and I will comment on those posts. I will offer a comment. I will offer birthday wishes. I would do these things because these are things that I would genuinely do and appreciate people doing for me. So I would do for others what I would do for myself. So I'll be a part of a platform and I'll comment sincerely. You might be right about that. Now, what does that do? I may not have known the people straight off, but after enough comments, you know what happens? They're going to know who you are and what it is that you do. And so now they will come to your page and they will look at the things that you do and the relationships that are now being fostered and built. I have a business that runs while I sleep. I earn the income sleep, right? I earn it awake too, but I also earn it sleep, right? So when people come to my page or one of my pages and they look and they hear all the clamor virtually, what people are excited about over the enterprises I'm a part of, then what that does, it makes them a part of your community and you build from there. Rarely do I share with people what it is that I do on social media other than just the relationship building. And when they ask me what it is that I do, then I share. You just have to know what platforms are for. Now, LinkedIn is a tremendous platform. I have close to 10,000 connections on LinkedIn. But you have to understand what LinkedIn is designed for. People looking for jobs. That's all LinkedIn is. It's a big resume factory. Okay. But if I can show you how to build business without having to take on a job, then we have a connection. So it truthfully depends upon the platform, understanding the platform you involve yourselves on, and then work that platform to build relationships, and eventually business will come. Can I say this one last thing on that level? I'm thinking
Yes.
about money. Can I share something with you about money, Sister
Yes.
Desiree?
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Money is a byproduct of service.
That's true.
If you strive to make money chances are it's going to continue to elude you. It's going to avoid you. Money is an energy. When you provide service, you're rewarded with financial compensation. You're rewarded with the money. When you provide service, money is a byproduct. Abundance is out here. You don't take away from anybody earning income. There's more air than you can ever breathe. There's more land that you can ever walk and build upon. There's more water than you can ever swim, sail, or bathe in. That abundance was created for you by the Creator. So when you position yourself to serve, then all the abundance that is out there will come to you. The universe will conspire to give you what you need and what you desire out of service. One of the great marketers, Mr. Zig Ziglar, used to say, if you help people get what they want, you help others get what they want, you'll get what you want. It'll come. It's a natural byproduct. And if anybody out here tells you that you've never made money or they've never made any money doing those things, whatever those things are, it's only because you never showed people how to make money. It's all about
Mm.
service. So I just wanted to add that part.
Yes, sir. Okay. Um, what's one tactic that surprised you by being effective?
What has surprised me is the appreciation
Hmm.
that people show for what I have and what I do. That's the biggest surprise. It's a part of the process, but I'm always taken aback on the appreciation that people show for what it is that we do. We launched the wealth building course April 1st from Wish to Winning. And people are participating from all over the globe, different parts of, not all over the globe, but different parts of the globe. And they're learning how to give themselves foundation to build wealth. And they pay for it. So that goes a long ways in and of itself in terms of validation, but the appreciation, meaning applying what it is that we learn, what we teach, what we absorb one from another, that at times can overwhelm. And I do a lot of crying around here because I'm a sappy kind of fella, you know, very emotionally charged over what I do, very passionate about it. So when I see it come into fruition for people, when I see the light come on, when they reach that aha moment, when they reach that goal of perpetual funding, it makes me emotional, you know. And all I can do is continue to thank God. Okay, last point on this. I want to bring gratitude. You have to have gratitude in all that you do. What is your gratitude? I list 10 things I'm grateful for every night before retiring and every morning when I get up, God willing. I'll list those things in a journal all to itself. Because when you go to bed grateful, you wake up, go to bed with gratitude, you wake up grateful. You no longer see just the job that you have to
I
go
think
to. You no
everything.
longer see
Okay.
the issues that you have in the household. What happens is you see the bigger picture. You gain greater control over your life and the appreciation of life. So gratitude is essential.
Yes, sir. So I'm sorry. What was the name of that program you were referring to?
It's called From Wish to Winning, the coaching
From
club. It's
wish
a
to
coaching
winning.
club that I've developed, and that coaching club consists of staff and not hired, but contributors, leaders, members of the Nation of Islam who assist in pulling together the fundamentals that help us to grow in wealth, help us to grow in goals, intention, focus, dreams, and prioritize us as individuals first and show how we matter to ourselves and to each other.
Um, is there a way that anybody could join? any of my listeners?
Oh, absolutely. If you're talking about Mosca, you can send me an email to thewealthminister@gmail.com and just type, put in the message Mosca, Mosca, and we'll reach out to you with the information and showing you how you can get started. You can also include name and phone number if you like, and you'll get a direct call. If you're looking at From Wish to Winning, the coaching club, you simply put the message club in the same email and same to the same send it to the same email address rather at I'm sorry, at the wealth minister at gmail.com. So those are the two uh, focuses of my attention. And then folks, there are a lot of us who may see this and you know me to be a part of several businesses or opportunities. And that's a part of building wealth. If you want to build wealth, you have to have multiple sources of income, multiple sources of income. And um, we look sort of foolish sitting on the dock of a bay saying, I'm just waiting for my ship to come in. If you never set one to sail, then your wait is futile, right? But think of the waters, the oceans, as that of opportunity. And you might send out a dinghy or a rowboat or a sailboat or a raft or a life preserver or ocean liner. Whatever you send out is yours. Whatever it comes back with the cargo of that vessel. All multiple sources of income work just that way. It does not mean that every income stream will be as great or equal to the other. No, they all have their own separate streams, but it's about ownership and control. When you own it, you control it. And when you control it, you benefit from it entirely. So multiple sources of income, you're going to see me in various spaces, but none of them are the same thing, but they all prosper.
Okay, yes, sir. How do you approach pricing and sales conversions?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question. Well, let's look at Mosca. You have a one-time commitment of either $225 and $525. You can do either one, right? To generate the perpetual funding every 28 days. Now, here's the thing. You're going to spend $225 anyway. You're going to spend $525 anyway. So you might as well put it in the vehicle that will reward you, allow it to prove itself. There are people who have been part of opportunities that they call percent deals. I'm not a big fan of those. I used to be in a few of them and they failed me miserably, right? So I'm not a big fan of it. So when someone says, hey, you can make 1.3% daily here, you can make 2% daily here. Well, these percentages, I play with calculators, right? So these percentages, 1% is a percentage of 100%. So if I'm getting 1% today, who's getting 99%? You see, those are kind of things that only evaluated experience will allow you to contemplate. And it's not a beat down. There are a lot of people out here that love to do trading and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine. You can do that. You know, I choose a sure road with no ability to lose because I look at eliminating risk and creating gain. All right. So those things I'm a part of, they have very limited to no risk at all. Mosca is a no risk system. It's fail safe in how it is created. All the rails have been laid. So there's no gambling. There's no chance taking here. It's a choice. It's a choice to enjoy ownership and control in the ways and the likes that no other platform has done. And you can look, there's many great platforms out here, but one that offers you ownership and revenue share perpetually. Do you know what perpetually means? That means ongoing and possibly forever. So, uh, Price conversion. Price conversion is in the question that I would ask anyone. Can you afford not to do this? Can you afford not to apply $225 one time? Can you not afford to apply $525 one time? Well, it's going to take 28 days to come back. Well, 28 days is going to come anyway. You know, wouldn't you like to see it come on as a receiving end as opposed to wondering 28 days later how I'm going to get this money? So price conversion is in the understanding, in the belief, and in the certainty of the math. And price conversions are always like beauties in the eyes of the beholder. Depending on your product, if you're dealing with high ticket conversions, then you have another type of approach. If you're dealing with uh, basic rank and file contribution, see, like everything that I do now is based on subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Subscription, because most people deal with everybody deals with subscription. They don't call it that. Your light bill, your utility is a subscription. What you do with your platforms like what do you call these uh, Comcast or Xfinity, whatever. These are all subscriptions. Every month they expect a payment. That's a subscription. Like magazines used to be. Remember, we used to have magazines delivered to your door. Well, you may not
Yes.
remember. You look like
I
you're about
rem-
16 now. You probably remember from your parents. You're not fooling me. But the thing is that everything operates off subscription, right? So your conversions can be rooted in subscriptions. I wish I had the time. Maybe we can come back again and I can show you some of the things that Grant Cardone and others have shown me on how to generate this $1 million on a regular basis, how we break down the math, and show people how to do it. You know, I won't go into it, but subscriptions. Uh, these are price points that people are comfortable paying for that service. Imagine it being paid for your service, same price point, but a different product, good, or service that rewards you and rewards you with bonus. So conversions like beauties in the eyes of the beholder.
yes, sir. What's the toughest challenge you've faced, and how did you get through it?
Oh, the toughest challenge that I faced was getting started in anything. Uh, when I joined Islam, I was worried about people and how they thought about me not eating pork. I did. I worried about that. I wondered uh, what people thought about me when I would go to the mosque. I wouldn't talk to my neighbor and encourage them to join me at the study group of the mosque. I would just go out the door. You know, those kind of things I had to overcome. Getting started, the challenge of overcoming your fears. And most of our fears are rooted in ego, comparison, most of our desires, rather, ego, comparison, and fear. Fear has been defined in many circles as false evidence appearing real. And what happens with fear, it serves as a false desire. We'll make excuses before we make commitments. So, the biggest challenge for me uh, was starting, making up my mind. And it may not have been a long period of time, but it was long enough for me to remember and how it impacted me. And the root of all of it is wanting for others what you want for yourself. And if you truly want it for yourself, you'll communicate it to others. Your why will connect with them when you invite them to join you at Muhammad's Mosque uh, 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 of Islam. When you invite them to come out and hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, when you invite people to your opportunity for perpetual funding, in anything that you do, your why has to connect. And the deeper you are entrenched in your why, the greater the results in connecting with other people. So I had to learn that. That was my biggest challenge, if you will, to overcome getting started. And when I say getting started, I mean finally reaching that why mentality that to help you do what it is that you desire to do for the people you're desiring to do it with.
Yes, sir. Wow. Okay. Any financial advice for other small business owners? Cash flow, funding, growth,
Okay,
and future.
so I, I'll share that answer with this disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and I don't offer financial advice. I can tell you what I do, you know, and what I do is what's called due diligence. Figure out what it is that you need, your biggest need. Write out 5 goals or desires. Write out 5 desires and then prioritize those desires in an order. You got 5 of them. Well, what's number one? What's number two? What's number three? What's number four? What's number five? Then you go to the top one and you write out the pros of it and then research the pros, not the cons, the pros of it. And you will find people who have done what you're looking to do. Look, there's nothing new under the sun. We've heard that over and over. And you can't it's it's bad to compare yourself in your beginning with people who are where they are today.
Yes,
They
sir.
had humble beginnings too. That's why the Holy Quran teaches us success does not depend on numbers. It's you and your idea. You write out the pros to the prioritized desire and you do your due diligence around it. You study it. You study influencers. You study people who have done it. And then you take the leap. Remember, you're not going to be great getting started, but you can't be great without getting started. You have to start. So deal out of your humble beginning and respect it in yourself so you can move accordingly. So that's that advice around your goals and desires. And you have to determine lifestyle costs. That's what I've done. What is a lifestyle cost? What would it take to maintain your household on a monthly basis? It might be $5,000 a month. It might be 10, 15,000. Mine might be 20,000 a month. Okay, with that 20,000 a month and my enterprises, how many digital wallets will I need to have connected to enjoy 20,000 a month? And I approach everything that way. I look at my lifestyle costs. The lifestyle cost is what it requires to maintain the household. Then I look at the approach through my different enterprises and know how much each one of those enterprises must uh, uh, achieve in order for that realization to be there, and then not change the expense. Meaning, if I need 10,000, I don't spend 10,000 because it comes. If I need 10,000 and I have 20,000 coming in a particular month, I don't spend 20,000 because next month I have the same recurring subscription. I'll still have the need of maybe $10,000. Learning to live within your means. Some people interpret it as living below your means. No, live within your means. What's required and everything that comes on top of it, you find a way to put that money to work. Money goes where it's invited and it stays where it's welcome. That's what money does. It's an energy. To save money, to hoard money, is not a good look. It's not a good fit. And you've taken it out of circulation. This is why I say there's no money problems. There's a cash flow problem. Money has to circulate. It's an energy. It has to circulate, and you have to show your appreciation for it, or else you'll lose it. saving it in a bank, as an example, you put it in at $10,000 and may be valued at 10,000. But when you include the point 0.8 and some change inflation rate, well, its value is less than when you deposit it. It's like taking a car off the parking lot brand new. It depreciates the moment it hits the driveway, right? So your money is losing strength sitting. You have to give it a job. If you have to have a job, that means your money's unemployed. You have to give money a job. That's why it's stated that money makes a horrible master, but a terrific servant or a terrific slave. Money is supposed to go to work for you. You were never designed to work for money, though money has its place. And if you don't know how to do other things, that's fine. The job will help you, but you got to know that the job is not the end all to be all. The job should be positioning you to finance your freedom. So I hope I answered
Yes,
some of that
sir.
or any of that. Okay.
Very well. Very well. Okay. What are your growth goals for the next 1 to 3 years?
Oh, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that he needs 100 millionaires in Chicago. Well, when I come back to Chicago, he'll only need 99. And
Praise.
inside the next few years, I hope to make millionaires out of believers, followers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, make millionaires so we can be better equipped and better engaged and better in funding our activities, our goals, our institutions within the Nation of Islam. It's a government on our shoulders, and we need to see it as such. So, in the next 1 to 3 years, I hope to produce 100 millionaires in many cities. Chicago just happens to be where I heard the minister give his desire.
Okay. Sweet Torah. If you could hire one role next, what would it be and why?
Would you repeat that? If I could hire what now?
If you could hire one role next, what would it be and why?
The role would be partner, where I don't have to pay you, but in partnership, we collaborate and it allows us to pay ourselves through the service we provide. So it would always be partner. If I had to hire, I'd be looking for a partner, one who thinks as I do and is willing to do what I do.
Yes, sir. Okay. What's one piece of advice you wish someone had told you earlier?
All that we're talking about now. If I knew any of this in my teens or in my 20s, well, then I would rob us because we would not know each other. But uh, okay, so if I followed the advice from my dear mother and parents, because it's not like they didn't try to offer me a foundation earlier, I was just being Negro. Negro only means need to grow. I needed to grow. And I have siblings who did pay attention early on in life, and they've done wonderful things with their lives, you know. And there's no one particular thing, but if I knew any of what I'm sharing now in my teens or 20s, then, you know, the outlook, the landscape of Brother Eric will be tremendously different. That's a great question. That's a great question because it puts into my mind right now, at 65 years old, I have more years behind me, possibly, than I have ahead of me. So the goal should be, how do I want to be remembered?
Yes, sir.
You know, it should be that. It should be now that every minute of Every second of every minute of every hour in every day has to count. How do I put the best foot forward? What do I want to be remembered for? I have journals all over the home in bookshelves. When people come to read those journals, particularly family, children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, they're going to look at that journal and they're going to know how Papa Eric thought. They're going to understand why they think the way they do or do as they do because their father or grandfather or great great grandfather was a fool first. Eons down the road, whatever we build as a nation, you know what's going to happen? Something's going to have my name embossed on it. Or there'll be
Yes,
a
sir.
picture of me somewhere, and possibly with teeth. But you know what's going to happen? The world that sees those pictures or reads that name that day, they will smile in that day because their world is better because I came today. How do you want to be remembered? Scripture says a good man leaves an inheritance for their children's children. What do you want to leave? What legacy do you want to leave? And pursue it and go for it and do it unapologetically. Always connect to that which you want because if you don't plug in, you're going to find yourself at 70, 80, 90 years old clocking in. You don't want that.
Yes, sir. Where can viewers learn more or buy from you? It's the same one you said earlier.
Well, well, it's not quite the same. So to learn more, every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern United States time zone, we have a global Zoom known as the Believers Huddle. And people attend from all over the world and they come on and they hear personal development, personal growth, and then we relationship build. We have a proverbial wisdom segment that is garnered by one of our fearless leaders, Sister Pastor Pamela Dixon, and she shares wisdoms based upon the proverb chapter of the day and the personal development or growth segment that's shown at the beginning of the presentations. And then we just fellowship and we share announcements with each other. We go through activities with each other. And so these are the things that help you to learn more about what I do or what we do as a community. We join on the Believers Huddle. And the Believers Huddle, you can put that information in the chat, I guess, but in your comments. But the meeting ID is 924-548-6042. And the password is all lowercase. Let's go. LETSGO as one word. So that's one way. The other way is to tune into my YouTube channel. I have several, but the YouTube channel, The Wealth Minister, that one is where you find a lot of the activities and programs and events that we make available to people. And you just go to youtube.com/ at sign the wealth minister. And when I say the, I mean THE, the wealth minister.
Yes, sir.
I
Thank
guess those
you.
are the main ways.
Okay.
Isn't it something? Years ago, if someone wanted to find me, Sister Desiree, they would go to the post office and you see pictures.
Wow.
People
Okay.
wanted. Those days are long, long gone. Praise be to Allah. But go ahead.
Anything exciting you'd like to share with our audience before we wrap up?
What's exciting for me uh, to share with the audience is this presentation from you and all that you do on your YouTube channel. You see, because folks, when someone finds value to add to a platform that's designed to add value, they're very special. And uh, when someone reaches out to me with that desire to communicate what it is that we do and what we've been blessed to do, that's really exciting and special to me. And it makes me want to go to everything that dear Sister Desiree does on her channel, to learn more about what she does, to encourage, support, and promote it, because this is part of the community element. We give back to each other. We want for each other what we want for ourselves. In our prayers, we say, "Oh Allah, make Muhammad successful and the followers successful," right? Well, this is a measure of that success. What excites me is seeing believers doing what they do, because again, only doing gets it done. And she serves as a magnificent example of how this can happen for anyone. And so that's what excites me most, to see us as a community grow like we are doing, fellowshipping like we are, and it leaves room for millions of members of our great nation of Islam to do the same and connect genuinely.
Thank you, sir. You've been a great person to interview. Oh, I am just going to be so excited to post this after I edit it. And thank you so much for your time and your patience and all that you do, sir.
All praise due to Allah. Thank you. And you need to put out a book on those secrets on how to remain 16 forever.
All praises to Allah.
Forever.
Okay.
Greetings to you and your family. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you.
Thank you.